Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Luana Berikinanti. In this video, we group 8 I would like to explain to you about transition practice, narrative and descriptive text. But before that, let me introduce group 8 members. The first is me, Luana Berikinanti, and then Vina Monica, then Rahmat Fajarjaya. Okay, without any further ado, let's begin the explanation. The transition as a process of transferring equivalent meaning from source language to target language. The characteristics of both languages are important to take into account. Therefore, before we talk about transition practice, I will explain to you about the comparison of Indonesian language characteristics and English language characteristics. Okay, first I will explain about the similarities between Indonesian language and English language. The first similarity, the ways of arranging sentences and paragraphs are similar. The second, both languages form words in the same way by attaching prefixes and suffixes to root words. Okay, so prefixes in Indonesian is called imbuhan awal and suffixes is imbuhan akhir. Okay. Some prefixes in Indonesian are me, di, ter, and etc. And then some suffixes in Indonesian are kan, lah, and an. And then some prefixes in English are re, dis, mis, and etc. And suffixes in English are able, meant, and full, and etc. We have learned about these prefixes and suffixes in our first semester, right? Okay, the next similarity, both languages use similar punctuation marks such as commas, periods, parentheses, quotation mark, and question mark, and etc. The next, the symbols are between Indonesian and English are nearly the same. And the fifth, capitalization is nearly the same for both languages. And the sixth, both languages have passive and active voices. Okay, I will give an example of active voice in English, then I will translate it to Indonesia. Okay, the example is, I bring Oxford Dictionary to school every day. If we translate it into Indonesia, it will be, saya membawa kamus Oxford ke sekolah setiap hari. And then the example of passive voice, 3 books is brought by me yesterday. The meaning is, saya 3 buku dibawa oleh saya kemarin. Okay, that's all about the similarities between Indonesian and English, and now I will explain about the differences. Okay, the first is English has tenses for verbs while Indonesian doesn't. Okay, so English has simple past tense, past continuous, present tense, and present perfect tense, and etc. But Indonesian doesn't. Okay, the second, English has gender but Indonesian doesn't. Okay, I'll give you an example. Kata ganti orang ketiga di Indonesia itu adalah dia. Nah, dia ini tidak menunjukkan apakah dia itu perempuan atau laki-laki. Kalau di bahasa Inggris, dia itu he and she. He for man and she for woman. Do you get what I mean? Okay, the third, English has different spelling for third person singular verb, but Indonesian doesn't change the verb. Okay, for example, in English, I go, you go, he goes. We add es in third person verb. Okay. In Indonesia, they are the same. They never change the verb. Tidak ada pergi lalu berubah jadi pergis. But in Indonesian, we use es or s. Okay, the next is modifying adjectives are usually placed before the noun in English, but in Indonesian, modifying adjective placed after noun. For example, he is a really handsome boy. He is a really handsome boy. So really, as modifying adjectives placed before noun in English, but when we translate it into Indonesian, it will be dia adalah laki-laki yang sangat tampan. So in Indonesian, modifying adjective placed after noun. So sangatnya diletakkan setelah kata laki-laki. Okay, the last differences is English has plural suffix s, but Indonesian plural concept is understood by context or by the addition of other words or repetition of the same words to express the concept of something more than one. Okay, for example, kalau di bahasa Inggris kita ingin berbicara tentang burung yang lebih dari satu, it will be birds. It means that the bird is more than one. But in Indonesian itu nggak berlaku. Kalau di Indonesia burung kalau itu jamak bentuknya menjadi burung-burung. Atau kita bisa bicara 3 burung. Kalau kita bilang 3 burung itu berarti lebih dari satu, dan itu berarti plural. Okay, that's all about the similarities and differences.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ram Prajar Jaya. I'm from Group 8. I will explain about translation practice, the narrative and descriptive text, and I will explain the narrative part. So basically, narrative text is a text or story with a complication event, and it tries to find the resolution to solve the problem. The purpose of narrative text is to amuse or entertain the reader. Then the next is generic structure of narrative text. The first is orientation. Orientation is to introduce of the participant of the story, where and when the story happened, who and what is involved in the story, and something like that. The second is complication. Complication is tells the beginning of the problem, which leads to the climax. Third is resolution. Resolution is the problem solved, either in sad or happy ending. The last is and it's optional. It's resolution or coda. It consists of moralism, advice, or teaching from the writer. Next is the language feature of narrative text. The first is using past tense. The second is using adverb of time. The third is using time conjunction. The fourth is specific character. Specific character is, for example, Cinderella, Snow White, Aladdin, etc. Then using action verbs, a verb that shows an action like walk, drunk, run. The last is using direct speech. Using direct speech it's to make the story lively. Like, my name is Snow White. The direct speech is using present tense. I would like you to read the paper and read the narrative text, which title is Hungry Crocodile. Read the English text and Indonesian text, then you can come back to this video and I will explain about it. After you read the text, I will explain about it. The English text is using past tense. We can say it from one day. There was a hungry crocodile. One day, and there was his past tense. And then the buffalo felt sad about it and decided to help the crocodile. The felt and decided is using past tense. Then is past continuous tense. We can say it from the crocodile was hiding under the surface, or was hiding is past continuous tense. In Indonesian text, tenses are not used. Then for adverb of time is one day or satu hari in Indonesia, and time conjunction is after and after that. In English text, the action verb are using verb to such as run, beat, etc. Indonesia is there's no something like that. Menggigit is still menggigit, berlari is still berlari. Nothing changed. The narrative text generic structure in English or Indonesia are the same, like orientation, complication, and resolution. I think that's all explanation from me. Sorry for any mistakes. Thank you for attention.
Next is descriptive text. Descriptive text is a text which say what a person or thing is like. Its purpose is to describe and reveal a particular person, place, or thing. Generic structure of this descriptive text. The first is identification, contains about the introduction of person, place, animal, or object with be described. And the second is description, contain a description of something such as animal, things, place, or person by describing its features, forms, colors, or anything. And language feature of descriptive text. The first is specific participants. Has a certain object is not common and unique. Only one. For example, Bandengan Beach, my house, Borobudur Temple. And the second, the use of adjective to clarify noun. Example, a beautiful beach. And then the use of simple present tense. The sentence pattern use is simple present tense. And then the last is action verb. Verb to show an activity. Example, run, sleep, walk, and etc.